Hey guys, welcome to another Starke HomeFit workout. This one starts off with a little bit of strength work, so it's 3 rounds, not for time. The goal here is not to rush through the movements. You want to do them nice and slow and controlled. The first movement is going to be 5 strict press to windmill. So basically you're going to do 1 strict press with a dumbbell or kettlebell and then go into a windmill. So the windmill is a hip hinge movement. You want to have your feet fairly wide apart. Try to keep those legs straight. And so if I have the kettlebell in my left hand, I'm going to have my feet apart. My right foot is going to be toes turned off to the right, and I'm going to hinge with my left hip moving over to the left as I drop down with my right hand to the inside of my right leg. While I'm doing this, I want to keep that kettlebell in the peripheral vision so that I can see where it is. Some people may be able to drop it like it's hot, get their hand right to the ground. If you can't, if you've got some limitations in your shoulders or if you got really tight hamstrings, just go down as far as you can, keeping that back of your hand in touch with your leg. Get down as low as you can comfortably. Keep looking up at that kettlebell and don't allow that hand to drift forward. So if you got really tight shoulders and you start to drop into that down position and your arm starts to go forward, don't go as low. Just stop yourself right there and then come back up. This is a good little shoulder exercise for stability, strength, and opens the front of that shoulder up too. So like your pec and your anterior delt. So don't force it, because if you do, chances are that bell is gonna come down. The next exercise is your 6 to 8 plyo lunges. So the way this is gonna work is you're gonna start standing on, say, that left leg, for example. Your right knee is gonna be up in front. You're gonna drop down into your lunge and then explode, driving through that left leg. That right knee is gonna come through and up, and you want to try to jump off the ground. So you're going to be driving through that left foot, following through with that right knee, and hopping off the ground. So if you don't feel super comfortable using weight, don't use weight, just use body weight for this. If you've got some weight with you at home, make use of it. Throw a kettlebell in that rack position. If you're standing on that left leg, the kettlebell is going to go on that left side, and that's your working side, that left side. So you'll do 6 to 8 reps per side there. Next up is your sit-throughs. So here you're gonna start in basically a bear crawl type position, so on all fours, so your hands and your toes. From there, you're gonna take a leg from behind. So say you take that right leg, you're gonna kick through. You wanna rotate those hips through, reach through with that leg. You're only gonna be supported by 1 foot and 1 hand at that point. Then you're gonna pull that leg back through. As soon as it touches the ground, you put your other hand down on the ground as well, and you're gonna shoot through on the other side. So once you do the right side and the left side, that's 2 reps. You're gonna do 10 of those. Start off a little bit slower and just kind of like build some intensity and speed into it if you feel comfortable and balanced with that. Last up is your Turkish getup. So I posted a video before this one on the mechanics of the Turkish getup. So search for that in our IGTV feed or on our Facebook page or on Instagram. Turkish getup is a great movement for shoulder strength and stability, core strength, hip mobility, leg strength. It's a great all-around exercise. The heavier you go, the slower you have to go to make sure that you're in control. I did this holding each position for 3 seconds. So on the way up and on the way down, I didn't rush through at all. It was basically just holding that 3-second pause between each movement, so between all 13 steps, just to build up a little bit more endurance and stability in the shoulder joint. So taking your time with this isn't an exercise that should be done quickly. You shouldn't be doing it for time. You shouldn't be doing reps for time. This is nice and slow and controlled. Build that stability, build that strength, and you're gonna get a lot from it. Part B, this is where you're gonna hustle, because the workout is called hustle. What you're gonna do is 10 thrusters with a dumbbell or kettlebell. This is just a single bell. So I did my first 4 rounds holding onto the kettlebell. My thumbs went through the handles and the actual cannonball part was sitting in my hands. I was doing my thrusters like that for the first 4 rounds. For those of you that might not have the shoulder mobility to be able to go that narrow and press through and overhead, I would recommend keeping that weight, the dumbbell or kettlebell, in 1 hand only, doing 5 on one side and then 5 thrusters on the other side. So I did a little demo of that as well. Reason for that is because if you are going narrow and you're trying to reach overhead, you might end up arching that back. The bell might end up out in front, and then you're just gonna be stressing that back out too much. So if you don't have the mobility, super supple shoulders, then just go to the kettlebell or dumbbell on one side and just rip them out like that. That's gonna be a much better position for you. You'll be able to keep your wrist, elbow, shoulder in line when you finish with that press overhead, and then just go back into that squat. After that is going to be your 10 lateral burpees. So basically you're going to drop down chest to ground and then jump over that dumbbell or kettlebell, whatever you have sitting there. So I went out a little hot in the first round, ended up slowing down, picking it up a bit more in the third round. This workout should take you about 8 to 12 minutes, so we want you moving fairly quickly with it. Those dumbbell thrusters or kettlebell thrusters should be done unbroken if possible, and then the burpees, it's just basically set a pace and keep moving through it. On that last round, when you're on your burpees, give it everything you got, use it up on those burpees, and you'll be happy you did. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the Starke HomeFit workouts and learning something from them each and every time you hit it. If you have any questions, send us a DM. We're happy to answer them for you. And yeah, take care of yourselves, stay strong, and we'll see you tomorrow.